What's that?
Sushi.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth and you're gonna eat that?
Can I eat?
I don't know. Give it a try.
Just the line delivery on that was funny. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new, welcome. Today we are watching The Breakfast Club 1985. And today is March 24th, 2024, and it is a Sunday. But I really wanted to either get this video up for you guys on this day or actually record it on the day that the movie is stated to be on. And I believe that March 24th, 1985 was a Saturday because they have a narration for that day. But obviously for 2024 it's on a Sunday, so I was actually planning to either record or upload this on March 24th, whether that be a Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, or whatever it happened to be, or have it out to you guys by then. The reason why I'm doing this is it was a request from you guys that I actually do this one, and I believe I'd have to double check, but I believe that this one came in when I did Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I figured just with the date being today and it being kind of requested from you guys that I would go ahead and just do it. I've seen this movie before. There's a lot of heavy stuff in this movie. From what I remember, mainly about one wanting to take his own life and the pressures and the pressures of high school and other things that I kind of remember, but I kind of don't remember. It's only been like 1 or 2 years since I've sat down and watched this, and I should know it pretty well. But again, there's some things that I may have forgot with this film. But that's either here nor there because we're actually going to remedy that today. Without any further ado, guys, let's just get into Breakfast Club 1985. Trying to think of the name of the song and I can't at the moment. Don't You Want Me or something like that? Sounds like it. Molly Ringwald, there we go. That's the name I recognize. I think I know Michael Hall as well. Alice Sheedy. Written and directed by John Hughes. Rain keeps falling, rain keeps falling.
Saturday, March 24th, 1984.
1984. Did I say 1985 or 1986 in the intro? March 24th, 1985 was a Saturday because they have a narration for that day.
We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. What do you care?
You don't care, that's the problem.
You see us as a brain, an athlete, a basket case, princess, and a criminal. Correct?
Putting labels on that stuff, that's not a good way to be or a good way to go.
It's so absurd I have to be here on a Saturday. It's not like I'm a defective or anything.
Honey, ditching class to go shopping doesn't make you a defective.
I wonder what you mean by that. Like in the terms of defective, I wonder what that means for her.
Well, mister, you figure out a way to study.
Guys screw around. There's nothing wrong with that. Except you got caught, sport. You want to miss a match? You want to blow your ride?
He just doesn't care. You know what? That was funny to you, but okay.
I want to congratulate you for being on time.
I know it's detention, but I don't think I belong in here.
Where do you think you belong?
You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to think about why you're here.
9 hours of school. At most, I think the most I ever spent at school was 8 hours a day, not 9.
You will not sleep.
Honestly, I think that's what I would do. I would actually just stay up all night if I knew I had to just be in detention all day and I could just sleep.
Describing to me who you think you are. And when I say essay, I mean essay. I do not mean a single word repeated 1,000 times. Is that clear, Mr. Bender?
Bender.
Crystal,
Good.
I forgot his name for half a second.
does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Give you the answer to that question, Mr. Bender, next Saturday.
Ooh, I can't wait. Even though that's a popular name, I still don't know who he is. Barry Manilow, that is.
You keep eating your hand, you're not going to be hungry for lunch. I've seen you before, you know.
Probably seen them all, actually. I don't think schools were that big in the 80s.
And Lois.
Really, to make that work, you need 2 pens.
What are we supposed to do if we have to take a piss?
Please.
If you gotta go, you gotta go.
You whip it out and you're dead before the first drop hits the floor.
Why don't you go close that door? We'll get the prom queen impregnated.
Yeah, that made her turn around pretty quick.
Well, hey, Sporto, what'd you do to get in here? Forget to wash your jaw?
He's doing it to get a rise out of you. Just ignore him.
Sweets? You couldn't ignore me if you tried.
That is true.
So, are you guys like boyfriend, girlfriend?
Or was.
Do you slip her the hot beef injection?
Hey, what's going on in there? Pricks.
How are they spoiled? Tell me. Please.
You know, Bender, you don't even count. I mean, if you disappear forever, it wouldn't make any difference.
Run right out and join the wrestling team.
Yeah.
See, you're afraid that they won't take you. You don't belong, so you just have to dump all over it.
Well, wouldn't have anything to do with you activities people being assholes now, would it? I don't know any lepers either, but I'm not gonna run out and join one of their fucking clubs.
So let's watch the mouth, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Do you belong to the physics club?
That's an academic club.
So?
She's not an academic.
So academic clubs aren't the same as other kinds of clubs.
Ah, but the dorks like him, they are.
Very true.
We talk about physics. So it's sort of social. Demented and sad, but social.
I like what he said there, but it's funny, but it's not funny.
If you guys keep up your talking, and Vernon's gonna come right in here. I got a meet this Saturday. I'm not gonna miss it on account of you boneheads.
I have such a deep admiration for guys who roll around on the floor with other guys. I figure all I need's a lobotomy and some tights. You wear tights?
You were tight?
No, I don't wear tights. I wear the required uniform.
Tights.
Shut up.
Me and her both. Me and her both.
Come on, Bender, don't screw around.
What are you gonna do?
Drop dead, I hope.
Drop dead, I hope.
Why is that door closed?
How are we supposed to know? We're not supposed to move, right? I think a screw fell out of it. She doesn't talk, sir.
No, she doesn't. At least not yet.
You want me to yank you out of that seat and shake it out of you?
I don't have it. Screws fall out all the time. The world's an imperfect place.
I really like his lines.
The door's way too heavy, sir. That's very clever, sir. What if there's a fire?
Yeah, I would put it at the end.
And endangering the lives of children would be unwise at this juncture in your career, sir.
All you had to do was put it a little bit further forward and put it to the side a little bit. It would have still opened the door, though.
I expected a little more from a varsity letterman.
Really, because this was your idea.
The next screw that falls out is gonna be you.
Eat my shorts.
What was that?
Eat my shorts.
You just bought yourself another Saturday, mister.
Crushed.
I've got you for the rest of your natural-born life if you don't watch your step.
Cut it out!
Why do you care?
You through?
Not even close, bud.
Good.
That's 7, including the one when we first came in. You asked Mr. Vernon here whether Barry Manilow knew that he raided his closet.
The next time I have to come in here, I'm cracking skulls.
That was good. That was good. I can't believe he has a lighter. Well, I can and I can't. I mean, as far as school is concerned, I don't think you could have a lighter back then. So you'd have to hide it. of boredom sets in. I like that. I like that a lot.
Who has to go to the laboratory?
That would be all of us, including me.
Nothing to do when you're locked in a vacancy.
Speak for yourself.
Do you think I'd speak for you? I don't even know your language.
Yeah, well, I didn't really say yeah right there, but you know what I mean. I was gonna say something.
Well, because if I do what my mother tells me not to do, it's because my father says it's okay. Any minute. Divorce.
You like your old man better than your mom?
They're both screwed.
No, I mean, if you had to choose between them.
Yeah, if you had to choose between them, who would you choose? And
Probably go live with my brother.
this is relatable for me because I am a child of divorce, so I know about that quite a bit, actually.
You're just feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, well, if I did, nobody else would.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
You get along with your parents?
Well, if I say yes, I'm an idiot, right?
You're an idiot anyway.
Yep.
But if you say you get along with your parents, well, you're a liar, too.
Yep. It's a fine line.
If we weren't in school right now, I'd waste you.
I don't like my parents either. You are a parent's wet dream, okay? Face it, you're a neo-maxi Zoom dweeby.
Don't know what that means. I know it was an insult, but I don't know what it means.
What's your name? Brian.
See?
My condolences.
My condolences on being a parent's wet dream.
Claire.
Claire?
Claire. It's a family name.
Oh, it's a fat girl.
I'm not fat.
Well, not at present, but I could see you really pushing maximum density. There are two kinds of fat people. There's fat people that were born to be fat, and there's fat people that were once thin, but they became fat. Oh. Obscene finger gestures from such a pristine girl.
I'm not that pristine.
Obviously not.
Are you a virgin?
She dated Sporto, so
Have you ever been felt up? Over the bra, under the blouse, shoes off. Hoping to God your parents don't walk in.
seems like the only way to get him to not talk is just not talk.
Leave her alone.
Is that Brian or is that Sporto? It's Sporto.
2 hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor.
Well, he did it.
I don't want to get into this with you, man.
Why not?
Because I'd kill you.
I don't think he would, but he.
I'd kill you, and your fucking parents would sue me, and it'd be a big mess, and I don't care enough about you to bother.
And that's why I said that he would, but again, I think that most people around this time, high schoolers and stuff like that, would have pocket knives and stuff like that. Anyway,
You don't look at her, and you don't even think about her.
I just want to know how one becomes a janitor.
Following a broom around after shitheads like you for the last 8 years, I've learned a couple of things. I looked through your letters, looked through your lockers. I listened to your conversations. You don't know that, but I do.
yeah,
I am the eyes and ears of this institution.
janitors really do deserve a lot of respect and a lot of admiration because of what they do, and they are kind of like spies in a sense, or they really know the kind of the beat of the jungle drums of the school. I can't whistle, but I can do it on accident. I don't know actually how to whistle on command, but sometimes I do it by accident and I don't know how I do it, but I can do it by accident.
I have a really low tolerance for dehydration.
I've seen her dehydrate, sir. It's pretty gross.
That's funny about the dehydration.
There's no rest home.
Rest home. I haven't heard that saying in a while.
What's your poison?
Vodka?
Vodka.
Yep, I knew it. Just that's the single line I remember from her is vodka.
When do you drink vodka?
Whenever.
Whenever she can get her hands on it.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Yeah, he's probably got the most depressing story of them all.
Because my coach and my father don't want me to blow my ride.
Now, why don't you tell me why you're really in here?
Forget it.
In so many ways he did. Kinda did, kinda didn't.
Brian here is a cherry. I'm not cherry. When have you ever gotten laid?
I've laid lots of times.
Ever laid anyone around here?
No.
Oh. You and Claire
Oh.
did it. Well, Brian's trying to tell me that in addition to the number of girls in the Niagara Falls area, that presently you and he are riding the hobby horse.
John said I was a cheering. I said I wasn't. That's it. That's all was said.
Well, then what were you motioning to Claire for?
Yeah, but it was only...
Confidence, man, confidence.
Excuse me for being a virgin. I'm sorry.
I think it's okay for a guy to be a virgin. Where's your lunch?
You're wearing it.
You're nauseating.
Sorry, I'm still a little bit juvenile, or juvenile, depending on how you want to phrase it.
What's that?
Sushi.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth and you're gonna eat that?
Can I eat?
I don't know. Give it a try.
Just the line delivery on that was funny. Ah, yes, the most important meal of the day.
Milk?
Soup.
It's apple juice.
I can read.
Really? Because we weren't sure.
All the food groups are represented. Did your mom marry Mr. Rogers?
No, Mr. Johnson.
Here's my impression of life at Big Bry's house. How'd you like to go fishing this weekend? Great, Dad.
Well, that's his opinion of how life is.
What about your family?
Stupid, worthless, no good, goddamn freeloading son of a bitch, retarded, big mouth, know-it-all asshole jerk. Forgot ugly, lazy, and disrespectful. Shut up, bitch!
Bullshit. It's all part of your image. I don't believe a word of it.
Believe this? Huh? This is what you get in my house when you spill paint in the garage.
You shouldn't have said that.
How did I know? I mean, he lies about everything anyway.
Wouldn't say he lies, but he does act out. But he does have a point. Okay, why would you put a whole thing, a whole orange in your mouth?
How do you know where Vernon went?
I don't.
Well, then how do you know when he'll be back?
I don't.
Yep, he doesn't.
Being bad feels pretty good.
A little bit bad, yes. But you can take it too far.
Boy has marijuana.
That boy has marijuana. In some states, it's illegal now. Like how she just kind of walks slow, but also just stops. That's kind of fun.
Come on!
Shit! Get back to the library, Keith. You're doing it on.
I just noticed that he has two different shoes on.
Give me that.
I'm surprised that he did that.
I'm sorry to inform you, you're going to be without his services for the rest of the day. The false alarm you pulled Friday, false alarms are really funny, aren't they? What if your dope was on fire?
Impossible, sir. It's in Johnson's underwear.
No, if I hadn't heard that line before, I would have laughed out loud. But I've seen that so many times that it's not as funny as it used to be. Even though it's still pretty funny.
You want to see something funny? You go visit John Bender in 5 years. You'll see how goddamn funny he is. Let's go.
Hey, keep your fucking hands off!
Yeah, don't touch the students.
For better hallway vision.
What did he hand him? I don't know what he handed him.
I make $31,000 a year.
Ooh, that's not good.
I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna kick the living shit out of you, man. I'm gonna knock your dick in the dirt.
Yeah, you can't say that to kids.
You think anybody is gonna take your word over mine? You're a lying sack of shit, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, he's already made up his mind about Bender.
Just take one shot. That's all I need. Just one swing.
Yeah, if he doesn't, then he just proved that he's right.
You're a gutless turd.
He locked him in there too. That could honestly get you fired.
Forgot my pencil.
God damn it! What was that ruckus?
Yeah, what ruckus?
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
What is that noise?
Really, sir, there wasn't any noise. Was that the noise that you're talking about?
No, it wasn't.
I will not be made a fool of.
Kind of hard to do when you got that. Rightfully so.
Sue me.
If this was today, she definitely would.
Type on my doobage?
He kept it in his pants.
Yo, wastoid. You're not gonna blaze up in here.
How does that work? Did he use his mouth?
Chicks cannot hold their smoke. That's what it is.
Yeah, funny.
Woo! Ah!
I like it.
You got a middle name? Yeah, I guess.
Waldo?
Your middle name is Ralph. Birth date's March 12th. You're 5'9" and a half. You weigh 130 pounds.
Would you mind telling me how you know all this about me?
She stole your shit?
Stole your wallet.
Yeah, pretty much. Wallet.
Are all these your girlfriends?
Some of them.
What about the others?
Well, some I consider my girlfriends, and some I just consider.
You don't believe in just one guy, one girl?
Do you?
Yeah. That's the way it should be.
And this is the worst fake ID I've ever seen. You realize you made yourself 68?
68, you would be dead by now.
What do you need a fake ID for?
So I can vote.
I like that. In unison, no. The only thing I see is trash and tampons.
Do you always carry this much shit in your bag?
Never know when you may have to jam. My home life is unsatisfying.
Everyone's home life is unsatisfying.
I don't have to run away and live in the street. I can run away and I can go to the ocean. I can go to the country. I can go to the mountains. I could go to Israel, Africa, Afghanistan.
I would not recommend going there.
Well, everyone's home life is unsatisfying. And if it wasn't, people would live with their parents forever.
True. Very, very true.
You're carrying all that crap around in your purse. Either you really want to run away, or you want people to think you want to run away.
Everyone's got their own problems. And that's what this movie's about. Everyone has their own problems.
You do everything everybody ever tells you to do. That is a problem.
Okay, fine. But I didn't dump my purse out on the couch and invite people into my problem.
He's got a point, and he's got a point. She's got a point, and he's got a point.
What did they do to you?
They ignore me.
Yep. That can be a problem. Especially if you're the middle child.
What did you want to be when you were young?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be John Lennon.
Before he got shot?
These kids get more and more arrogant.
Oh, bullshit, man. Come on, Vern. The kids haven't changed. You have.
True.
You think I give one rat's ass what these kids think of me?
Yes, you do.
Now, this is the thought that wakes me up in the middle of the night. That when I get older, these kids are going to take care of me.
I wouldn't count on it.
Based on how you treat them.
What would I do for $1 million?
Would you drive to school naked?
Would I have to get out of the car?
Of course.
Yes.
I'll do anything sexual. I don't need $1 million to do it either. I've done just about everything there is, except a few things that are illegal. I'm a nymphomaniac. The only person I told was my shrink.
What did he do when you told him?
He nailed me. I don't think that from a legal standpoint, what he did can be construed as rape since I paid him.
You're under 18, so he would still go to jail, basically.
Have you ever done it?
I don't even have a psychiatrist. Didn't we already cover this?
You never answered the question.
Yeah, in a roundabout way she did, but she never actually answered it.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
A what?
Well, if you say you haven't, you're a prude. If you say you have, you're a slut. Or are you a tease?
She's a tease. All girls are teases.
I don't do anything.
That's why you're a tease. I don't screw to get respect. That's the difference between you and me.
Sex is your weapon. You said it yourself. You use it to get respect.
I don't use it, period.
Come on,
Answer the question.
Don't
be
Come on, it's easy. It's only one question.
No! I never did it!
I never did it either. I'm not a nymphomaniac. I'm a compulsive liar.
You're just pissed off because she got you to admit something you didn't want to admit to.
Okay, fine, but that doesn't make it any less bizarre.
What's bizarre? I mean, we're all pretty bizarre.
True.
He can't think for himself.
What I did to get in here.
Yep, everything is done for him by his parents,
I
or
taped Larry
or
Lester's
just
buns
kind of
together.
making sure that he stays on the right path. So they make decisions for him so he stays on that right path that they want him to follow.
Well, you know how hairy he is, right? Well, when they pulled the tape off, most of his hair came off and some skin, too. Said I did it for my old man. I tortured this poor kid because I wanted him to think that I was cool. I started thinking about my father and his attitudes about weakness. All I could think about was Larry's father and Larry having to go home and explain what happened to him. How do you apologize for something like that? No way.
No, but at least trying is key, though.
Andrew, you've got to be number one. I won't tolerate any losers in this family. Your intensity is for shit. Win! Win! Win!
It's like me, like with my grades, step outside myself, kind of, and like when I look in at myself, I don't like what I see because I'm failing shop. Like this, like a ceramic elephant. When you pull the trunk, the light was supposed to go on. My light didn't go on, so I thought, I'll take shop. It'd be such an easy way to maintain my grade point average.
The most important thing to me back then was my grades and my grade point average and all that stuff. So taking easy courses that I thought were easy was actually going to be kind of interesting. And I actually did take shop for an elective in like middle school and high school just for the fun of it. And I thought it would be an easy grade and keep my grade point average up. But it was actually kind of hard work to come up with ideas to build things. But I did it. I built a foosball table, and I built a shelf, and that sort of thing. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is grades were the most important thing to me up until a couple years ago. Basically until I got into college, then I just didn't. Then I just started to not care about grades towards the end of it, like my junior and senior year of college. Started just not to care about grades and that sort of thing.
All right.
My image of you is totally blown.
You're a shit. Don't do that to her.
I could disappear forever and it wouldn't make any difference. I may as well not even exist at this school, remember?
My God, are we gonna be like our parents?
Not me.
It's unfortunate, but we tend to become our parents, even though we try not to. In some ways we do, in some ways we don't.
It's unavoidable. Just happen when you grow up. Your heart dies.
Who cares?
I care.
What is going to happen to us on Monday? When we're all together again.
Are you gonna be together again?
So on Monday, what happens?
You want the truth?
Yeah, I want the truth.
I don't think so. If Brian came walking up to you in the hall on Monday, what would you do? You'd say hi to him, and when he left, you'd cut him all up so your friends wouldn't think that you really liked him.
No way.
You are a bitch!
Why? Because I'm telling the truth? That makes me a bitch?
No, because you know how shitty that is to do to someone.
What would your friends say if we were walking down the hall together? They'd laugh their asses off, and you'd probably tell them that you were doing it with me so they'd forgive you for being seen with me.
Don't you ever talk about my friends. Just bury your head in the sand and wait for your fucking prom.
I hate you.
I just want to tell each of you that I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, and I will not. Because I think that's real shitty.
It is.
I hate it. I hate having to go along with everything my friends say.
Yeah, this is why cliques are a bad thing. There's good things and there's bad things, but mostly it's a bad thing.
Think I don't understand pressure, Claire?
Found a gun in the locker.
Why'd you have a gun in your locker?
I tried.
What's the gun for, Brian?
Just forget it.
You brought it up, man.
I can't have an F. No, my parents can have it, even if I ace the rest of the semester. I'm still only a B.
No, killing yourself is not an option.
Well, I didn't do it, did I? No, I don't think so.
It was a handgun.
It was a flare gun. Went off in my locker.
That's funny though. That's sad, but it's
Not funny.
It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad. It is sad. Could kill you if you did it right, but
It is.
it'd be painful.
You want to know what I did to get in here? Nothing. I didn't have anything better to do.
Well, it's kind of a waste for all of us to write our paper, don't you think?
So you're gonna make him do it?
You just don't want to write your paper, right?
Yeah. There you go.
You know how you said before how your parents use you to get back at each other? Wouldn't I be outstanding in that capacity?
But yeah, he would be outstanding in that capacity.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? It's just so different. I can see your face.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah, it is good. But if you're not comfortable with it, you can always go back to the way you were.
See you next Saturday.
You bet.
Your troubles and doubts, giving me everything. Don't you forget about me. You recognize me. Call my name or walk on by.
But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete
And a basket case.
A princess.
And a criminal.
Does that answer your question? The Breakfast Club.
And there is the famous shot right there. This is one of those comfort movies for me. I really, really like this movie. It's something that whenever I watch it, it just makes me feel, it makes me forget about my problems, basically. It makes me forget about life and what I got going on at the moment. You know, it makes me forget about work. It makes me forget about other responsibilities I have as an adult, as you gain more responsibilities and that sort of thing. But it's just one of those things where I just really, really like it. And it's one of those things where I can turn this on and forget about my problems. And I really like this movie. I'm gonna go into characters first. I wouldn't say it's the point of the movie, but it is kind of the, you know, kind of like the focus point of the movie. And I really relate to Brian because I was Brian. You know, when he was talking about his grades and when he steps outside of himself, he doesn't like what he sees, and that was me too. When I would step outside of myself, I didn't like what I saw as far as um, you know, just caring about grades and caring about what not necessarily my friends would think, but more so what my parents would think. You know, if I had gotten an F, how would my parents react? And my mindset was much of Brian's where that if I got an F, they wouldn't be able to take it. Just because I had that mindset. Um, Now you mix that in with Claire's backstory about her parents being divorced, so I had that on top of my shoulders as well because my mindset was when I was younger in like elementary school and middle school was, you know, if I kept my grades good, there's a chance that my parents might actually get back together, but you know, when you're older, you see now that you're older, you kind of see that was never going to really happen, and there's reasons for that because A, you got to grow up and be part of the real world and that sort of thing. But you know, as a kid, that's generally that is focused on the grades and stuff like that. That was kind of my mindset. If I just did well in school, well, maybe there's a chance that my parents would get back together, but that, you know, that's an unrealistic expectation to have. But when you're a kid, um you just kind of have that mindset. Changed a little bit since then, but you know, as we all do as we grow up and stuff like that. And it really did does speak to just kind of the backgrounds and how the backgrounds that you have kind of manifest themselves, and you show an outer appearance kind of, I don't want to say formed to that, but you see how it translates into your public appearance when you're out in public. So for Bender, he has a hard home life, and he probably doesn't have that much there's not much that he can control, and he gets, you know, yelled at and kind of and abused by his parents. And so that comes out in his personality at school, where he has control, where he can kind of act out and be kind of not the funny man per se, but you kind of see him act out because he has no say in what his parents um do to him or say or anything like that. Hopefully I'm explaining this correctly, because I should preface this by saying I'm not, you know, a person that can really comment on uh psychology, basically. But this is just my own takeaway, I guess you could say. Um, Now, I don't know her name, but the basket case, the one that kind of just showed up at um, basically at detention without any reason for being there, really, kind of ignored by her parents. We don't know much of her backstory or why she really wanted to be a part of detention that day, other than she didn't have anything better to do, which is understandable, but I would think that they wouldn't necessarily uh, just let anyone walk into detention that wasn't supposed to be there. But anyway, it makes for a good story, and at times, uh, I feel a little bit connected to her too, because I there's times when I just didn't care about anything. Um, I would go from Brian to basket case, where I just did not care. And I kind of got that way when I got a little bit older into high school, and then it kind of stopped about my sophomore year, and I kind of transitioned from my junior to senior year, where you know, I kind of became a different person, not entirely, but yeah, anyway. Um, so I do have elements of the basket case. I'm kind of a loner. I kind of do my own thing. I kind of really don't talk to anyone when I'm out in public, unless you approach me and that sort of thing. Then I'll talk to you. But Claire, like I said, with Claire, her backstory is the same as mine. My parents are divorced, and who would you choose? Um, and honestly, that would be one of the routes I would go down. At the time, if I had the choice, I would probably choose my sister to live with. Although we were similar ages back then, so it wouldn't have worked out that way. But generally speaking, I would choose like an older brother or sister that I would go live with, and rather deal with, the constant fighting back and forth, and, you know, the using them to get back at each other and stuff. It's just how uh it's just how we, or shouldn't say we, because I'm pretty sure that other children of divorce would, feel this way, as they would basically go where they don't have an issue with anybody, um, that be a family member, friend, or whatever, and do it that way. Um, but yeah, I was never the popular kid. I never did anything. Um, Speaking of which, going back to Brian, I believe I never joined any clubs or anything like that. Um, I never did, like, in his case, the physics or anything like that. But Bender does have a point, and it's actually very, very true that um that when you're a part of a club, doesn't matter if it's, a popular club or not, to Brian it is, because they have their own clique and their own set of things, even though it's not popular. So I guess what I'm saying is if you find something that really interests you, it doesn't really matter if it's popular or not. As long as you got people that enjoy the same things you do and you kind of run in the same circle, you feel like you are popular. And so that's just kind of interesting. Now, going back to what I was saying about her basket case, we don't know much about her home life. We just know that her parents ignore her, and I wonder if that's because she is the middle child, because I threw that out there because that's all the time um you hear from that's all you hear from the middle child is they ignore me because I'm the middle child. Now, I've not experienced that because I'm the oldest of my sibling, because I do have a sister, and I'm just older, but um, you know, I so I couldn't tell you, yes or no on that. But that's what reports uh, say or studies say about being the middle child. Vern, to me, has gotten very used to the way of doing things, and he's kind of stuck in this mindset. And Carl even said, you've kind of changed. What happened there? That you've changed. And he does have a point, and he's like, he took him a second, but he actually kind of reflected on what Carl had to say. I wonder if what Carl had to say to him kind of affected him in a way where he started to think about exactly how he's been treating the kids in detention and how it affected him going forward. If movies were if movies were to continue, I wonder how that would have affected him going forward, or just in general how that would have affected him going forward. Probably not much, but maybe just a little bit. Um, we know the kids wrote just one essay. I wonder what his thoughts would be on that essay, which we never get to. It's just one of those things that would be nice to know, but is not needed to know. I really said I liked Bender's lines in this. It was kind of one-liners and that sort of thing, but I do believe that this was kind of how teenagers talked and that sort of thing. So I think the dialogue was pretty good in this. There is a few words that I'm not going to say here, but that have kind of fallen out of style. One is which is the F word, which means something different now, but you guys know the F word I'm talking about. It's not the one that is commonly used today, but it's the other one. The other one is the one that starts with an L, I believe. I'm not going to say it here because I don't know what it means. Um, so I'm going to refrain from using that. Of course, I know what the B one means, and I know where that origin comes from, but you guys know there's a few words in this that I've heard, but only in movies and stuff, just because it's fallen out of common use. So there are times when I'm puzzled and confused, um, and stuff like that. Well, we're on words. I did remember a vodka line, but I did not remember the probably the most famous line that she says, "When you grow up, your heart dies." That is very true. That is somewhat true and somewhat not true, but I really do like that line because that line, ever since I've watched this movie, has stuck with me all day because where I'm at in my life and stuff like that just resonates with me so much that I feel like part of my heart has actually died. Um, in a sense, just because of, again, responsibilities of being an adult and that sort of thing, and decisions you have to make, uh, just to kind of survive when you're on your own and that sort of thing. So you're less likely to be a kind, caring person than you were when you were younger. Um, but it is such a powerful line and such a powerful statement that it sticks with you. Or at least I hope that it sticks with you. It does stick with me. The pocket knife to me is, to me personally, just a rite of passage. I got my first pocket knife when I was 12. You know, I know people in school that had one always on them. I have one right here at my desk. I never take it anywhere, but I could. I just I just don't. Um, to me, you know, pocket knives are a symbol of, you know, a rite of passage of just becoming a man and that sort of thing. Um, it's just one of those uh generational things. You know, passing down something that is um a value and a tradition. You know, Bender had said, you know, I've seen you before. Well, yeah, I would imagine class sizes were a little bit smaller than they are now, and especially if they're, excuse me, and especially if they are, um, you know, not in a big city or anything like that, or you know, big school, big city, big school. The you're you're gonna know people in your own class. Um, and even outside of your own class. Didn't really bother me, but it was just the way that things were done back then. Is when Vern touched Bender, and that's just because of the days, you know, um, just because of how people feel about schools today and that sort of thing, where you know, touching students and using the paddle and stuff is not necessarily is not necessarily condoned, but it is making its way back. I've noticed that schools and states have started to say, "Hey, we want to start implementing the paddle back into, you know, back into schools." But that's kind of, you know, that's kind of here nor there. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover in this video. If there's a topic that I missed that you wanted my opinions on about this movie, or any more kind of um details. I know I shared a lot of personal stuff. I wasn't planning on it, but this movie kind of brings out the personal side of the person that's watching it, but also just kind of the overall thoughts of, you know, being put in that situation because of how we identify and attach ourselves to certain characters in this movie, which is not what I was expecting, because I kind of knew it and I kind of didn't, because like I said, it's been like a couple of years since I watched this, but it was just the perfect time to watch it. With all that being said, guys, um, do consider like, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. And basket case, take it away.
When you grow up, your heart dies.